Arkadaşlar merhaba. Biliyorsunuz kanalda God of War'ın bütün oynanış videosunu paylaşmıştım. 30 bölüm civarı bir şeydi. Şimdi God of War Ragnarök ile devam edecek seri. Ee, Önden bazı oyunculara yolladılar, denettiler. Fakat ben izlemedim. Heyecanının kaçmasını istemiyorum. Ve sizin için arkadaşlar PlayStation Türkiye'de bunun TL'si var mıdır bilmiyorum. Ben para kazanmaya falan daha çıktım. Oyunla ilgili sonuçta yayınladığı trailerlar. Bir oynatma listesi yapacağım. Bu tarz güzel oyunları ya da kendim epeyce ben oyun trailerı tanıtımı izliyorum arkadaşlar. Hani izlerken kayıt alacağım. Beklediğim oyunları bir oynatma listesine paylaşacağım. Ben de bazen oyunları tabii God of War gibi olmasa da pek bilinmedik böyle ismi farklı olan oyunları mesela oynamak istiyorum ama unutuyorum. Sizler için kendimce onların paylaştıkları videoları bir sıraladım. Hem oynanış videoları var içinde. Biraz uzun olabilir. Film izlemeden huyumdur. Normalde çok ileri sararım izlediğim şeyleri. Ama God of War'ın hatırına çok fazla yapmamaya çalışacağım bunu. Beraber izleyelim. Sizin için de hepsi birlikte bir oynatma listesi oluşturmuş oldum. Umarım beğenirsiniz.
It's quite the storm we're having. Seems Fimbulwinter's here to stay.
Bu arkadaşlar Efsaneler isimli bir video.
All things do. In the meantime, how
Biraz
about a
kısmen
story
eskiyi de
while we warm by the
hatırlatacak
fire?
bize. Bize God of War hikayesini anlatacak.
Odin's filthy
Ben de
spies.
almıştım mesela
That old man sees more now
God
than he
of
did when
War'ın
he had
kitabını,
both eyes.
senaryo halini.
Ah,
Loki'nin şeylerini
one of
falan da
my
almıştım.
favorites.
Loki'nin
It's a story of
hikayelerini.
adventure. A father and son working together to overcome insurmountable odds, setting in motion the greatest war the Nine Realms have ever seen. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. There
İlk
once was a
oyunu da
god from a far off land
çok kişi
who settled in
özetledi.
Midgard,
Çok güzel video
disguised
yazmışlar.
as a man. He started a new life, had a wife and a boy. They were happy together. In peace, they found joy. His wife passed away. Kratos mourned with his son. But where one journey ended, a new had begun. Faye's final request, though it seemed rather bleak, spread my ashes atop the Nine Realms' tallest peak. As they readied themselves for the long road ahead, a stranger accosted them in their homestead. Baldur sought answers as Odin's hand. Kratos gave none to the Aesir firebrand. They made way for the mountains. Kratos taught the boy skills, keeping godhood a secret but training to kill. Gods were always in danger, this Kratos knew, but secrets, he'd learn, could harm the boy too. They found Mimir in a tree, punishment for his wrongs, so they lopped off his head, and they brought him along. Mimir held ancient wisdom and knew the lost god of war. He warned, tell the boy,
Buradan buraya atlayana kadar bir sürü olay yaşandı.
No, now hold on a minute. Is that all that's in there about me?
Something to add?
Actually, yes, I do. You see, Odin, in all of his dreadfully paranoid wisdom, trapped me in that bloody tree for perceived wrongs. And I led quite the colourful life before even meeting him. It all started when I was just a lad in the service of a great fairy king.
Riveting stuff, really. We'll have to get back to that later.
No, don't turn the page. I wasn't finished.
If Mimir were telling the story, we'd be here all day. Anyways, they met Freya, masquerading as a witch in the woods. A god knows a god. She would aid where she could. She cautioned, you must tell your son he's divine. But Kratos dismissed her. He'd regret this in time. On the road, Baldur's allies, Thor's sons, attacked. Something snapped in Atreus as he tried to fight back. The Aesir lost the battle, but Atreus fell too. Kratos rushed him to Freya. She would know what to do. Freya was disheartened with the father's neglect, but with the heart of Hell's troll, she could save his son yet. Kratos thundered through Helheim and slew the great troll. He had captured its heart, but in his burned a hole. He returned with his offering. Freya cast a keen spell, and Atreus was healed, though not all was well. Kratos sat with his son, and for once he was true, revealing he was a god. And Atreus was too. Delighted at first, it seemed all would go smoothly. Then arrogance followed and bent Atreus toward cruelty. With tensions flared, Baldur preyed on their discord, casting back into Helheim Kratos and his ward. In Helheim, they learned Freya caused Baldur's plight. His mother's ill-conceived curse robbed his life of all light. They emerged from the realm as they neared journey's end, but Baldur appeared and attacked once again. Atreus and Kratos were ready this time, stronger together with their power combined. Freya intervened on behalf of her son, begging Baldur's forgiveness for all that she'd done. Baldur strangled his mother. Kratos lunged with a snap. Baldur slumped. Freya wailed. And he died in her lap. Something changed in the world. Snow started to fall. The dawn of Fimbulwinter. The dusk of it all. Atreus asked, "Is this what it means to be gods? Killing our parents forever at odds?" "No!" Kratos bellowed as he dropped to one knee. "We will be the gods that we choose to be." Finally, together, they reached the Great Peak, finding Jotunheim's temple, the giants' retreat. A prophetic mural showed the life they had led. The boy's mother was giant, they learned as they read. Atreus walked to the cliffside. Kratos eyed the wall slowly. Beneath the boy's picture, a name was etched. Loki. They scattered her ashes and watched as they lifted. Over rolling red hills, the wind danced, and it drifted. Standing side by side, feeling hopeful and new, the boy was at peace. And the father was too.
Çok güzel.
With their promise fulfilled, they returned to their home. They trained day after day, lest they'd reap what they'd sown. Atreus grew restless. Wary, Kratos remained. Ragnarok loomed as the great winter waned.
Don't tell me you're thinking of stopping here. Things were just getting good.
Well, I suppose we could go on a bit longer.
An excellent idea. This is the most dramatic part. On second thought, perhaps we'd better cut it short.
It seems that we're out of time. If you want to know how this story ends,
Sonunda Thor
I'm
geldi.
afraid you'll have to find out for yourself. Until
Kuzeni
then,
kaçtı, Thor'a haber verdi. Evet.
That's a
Sonra
great
bu
observation,
şekilde
John.
güzel bir video
Ella
yapmışlar.
said that you'd think it was stupid.
No, I said I thought it was
John
stupid.
Travolta.
Okay, you know what? This is good right here. I mean, the God of War dynamic plays out in every parent-child relationship.
Neydi bu adamın
When that
adı
clicked
ya?
for me, picked up my Leviathan axe,
Buradaki gecede Ben
felt truly
Stiller.
close to my son for the first time.
Çok sevmiş herhalde bu.
I'm
Bana
17.
oğluyla.
Exactly.
Leviathan, axe.
Ronnie, what's going on, man? You're a little quiet today. Anything to add?
LeBron James de burada.
No.
Baba.
No, it's good.
Çocuk baba,
No
baba
counts.
kız.
You know, Quinn was where you're at about a month ago, and look at him now. Okay, last night, 2 a.m., I'm laying in bed. What am I thinking about? Kratos.
Are you kidding? That's me, big time. That's common for me.
We believe you. You're being too thirsty.
No, I'm hydrated.
Specifically, the time he tried to protect Atreus from Baldur, and Atreus got so angry he shot Kratos through the chest with one of those, like that spiky thingy?
It was an arrow.
Arrow. Great, spiky arrow thing. I mean, nobody can hurt you like your kids, right? LeBron,
Guess so.
what's going on beneath that headband?
I'm not even wearing one.
No, I know. You know. I mean, like, if you were.
When Bronny said he'd rather play against me than with me. Shot in the heart.
Really?
I think we call that a breakthrough. Some shots you just can't block.
I can see that now, Ben.
Kratos.
I cannot believe I missed practice for this.
I want all the breakthrough. Ella, why don't you ever hurt my feelings?
Okay, you're old and you're bald.
Just like Kratos.
Now, John,
Bakarız.
last
Doğru.
week you said you were finally ready to wear your Kratos outfit to the farmer's market. How'd that go?
Incredible. I had people pointing at me going, no, that's a really great dad.
That's not why they were pointing. You were wearing a buckskin loincloth.
Ella, it's not Buck, it's Bear. And I get those points all the time. People pointing, oh my God, look at that great dad.
So why aren't you wearing that stuff today?
Well, unfortunately, my armor bears the scars of a recent battle.
He spilled a bunch of salsa on it.
That can happen, especially with the leathers.
Exactly. Tattletale.
Look, if it was easy, every dad would be dressed like this, right?
Does the costume really help?
I don't know. Does the costume really help when you play basketball?
It is a costume.
Babayla oğul diyor bu video. Yani kısa bir şeymiş.
When you are at your weakest.
When fear and doubt are a burden too heavy to bear.
Remember this. You
Ya.
are not alone.
Ölümün şey değil miydi o? Ölümün köpeği.
And our role is to create the character. I get to lead a team of
Evet,
fantastic and
yaratık
brilliant
karakter
concept artists.
tasarımı.
And
Buralara
our
hızlı
role is to
geçeceğim
create the characters
arkadaşlar.
that you see in the game across. The
Güzel
hope is that
görseller
we get
var.
something that feels unique and stands up to the history and the legacy of what the God of War franchise has always done. I feel like from the first games, that was a similar approach that they were doing.
My name is Raf Grassetti. I'm
technical artist.
Hi, I'm...
Come in.
What?
I rig most of the characters and props that you see throughout the world.
We do it
Ne
mostly.
yaptıklarını
So when you
açıklıyorlar.
see our characters to some extent
Tabii,
before even
bildiğin
interacting
şey.
with them.
as art director. I get the chance to the factions feel correct. All the races belong to where they're supposed to be. Like all the realms have very specific characteristics about them.
Tekniğin yönetimi biraz garipti. Çok sert hareketler. Umarım
Sorry, one
onu
more thing.
düzeltmişlerdir.
Although these are gifts I'm giving to you, so I shouldn't be sorry and you should be thankful. Anyways,
Keskin,
here,
yani bakıcı
please be careful.
hareket ettiremiyorduk.
In the God of War
Çok
2018, we
yapaydı.
saw Brock and Sindri, and that was the tip of Svartalheim. Where they're from, and a great part of that too is we want to make sure that we expand the cast. You know, we've just seen a little bit of what was represented, and that was something that we hadn't seen.
Svartalheim is a beautiful place. There's a lot of different bio inspiration from
Yeni bir yerden
the dwarf
bahsediyor.
influence on.
It's about the work into creating this great city where they live in.
Knowing that they're in every entry, we want to make sure that both the environments and character them. And the hope, it all goes together and creates a feeling within a realm that you're excited to see, feels unique, and really creates that sense of wonder where you want to go back.
When designing a character to match the geography around it, first it's definitely dictated by the biz dev team and the narrative team and the story team. They make sure the character is designed for features that fit in with what they need.
When designing the Grims, we took a lot of inspiration from those big claws. There's small critters Phil lived in.
It's a big part that concepts that even the
Oyun içi görüntülerde daha
for the
çok.
combat experiences with the character.
Alsan daha
Character
aktif
design is all about
kullanılacak.
storytelling, personality. He knows his you have feel that he's not.
I do believe that we're work to make these characters that
The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming.
Oynanın şey olarak
Svartalheim,
zaten
the dwarves, working with
aynı
different
olacak
races from
belli
different
ki.
realms, so definitely seeing
Bu arada
Ragnarok and
geliş
the
aynı
impact of that into the realm
Asgardlar
puts
Thor
them into this
filmindeki
position
gibi
that's very
görünüşte
interesting.
geldi.
You find out what is taking place.
Ben o şekilde
It's not that it's just these seeds, we go back and really visit those areas and want to go explore.
If the geysers and smell here are
Going in how they play, they use Svartalheim a lot to explore.
I'm really excited for Svartalheim. In cinematics and playing through some of the puzzles, I'm so excited how water plays such a big feature in that realm,
Olmacalar
and
ya.
that is so cool.
Oyun
I'm most excited for first
yani ilk
the last game.
mekaniklerin üstüne
All the other
biraz
doors.
koyacaktır elbette. Çünkü hani macera bitmedi. Yani burada kalmıştı macera. Oha,
That's not always the case, but our fans just get
aynı maceraya devam ediyoruz.
And we love that, and we packed a lot of that in for this new cast, and we hope you guys get the same feeling with God of War Ragnarök.
Tam baltayı bırakıyorsun. Sonundan mı bu? O az önceki yeni bir yetenek. Yine önemli En önemli kısım bana göre oynanış ve mekanikler. Bol
From a
bol
combat perspective, I always
oyun
and
içi
I still feel
yorum
like
görüyoruz.
the meat and potatoes of any God of War game is combat. My name is Santa Monica.
And I'm a
Pan and
combat designer on Defend Against.
the move, you gave them personalities, you gave them weight.
My role as a VFX artist, full of fire and earth and water and wind, whether you are throwing your axe or on the receiving end of an enemy spell, VFX is what really gives the movement and the danger to every move that a character or enemy makes.
I work really close, actually work a lot with camera, along with the guidance of our great camera team, so I find myself doing fight choreography sometimes.
One of the most challenging features, but it's really navigating that line between frustrating and engaging. We want to make something that makes players lean forward and focus and really try hard against that enemy and feel good about overcoming that, but we don't want to make them feel defeated if they can't figure something out.
And then it feels rewarding when you win.
After the last game, we've heard, and this time we really leaned into that theme of enemies. But this time around, we're going to be fighting light elves, such as the light elf
Vuruş hissi oyunda da güzel. Bence çok havada sulu kalıyordu falan onlar biraz
we already have that
farklı.
knowledge, so we can build upon the close camera that we have, and we can iterate on enemies, creating more interesting scenarios. In the last game, Atreus was just starting to fight alongside Kratos, and he was learning from the master tactician. So in this game, he's trying to prove himself a little bit more, and we built upon those mechanics with him.
The previous God of War, Atreus was still a kid, right? So he has a lot of dependency on his father. And for this game, you will see Atreus moving more independently on his own as a companion.
In regards to VFX, you are playing
Güzel
as
bir
Kratos,
gelişme.
you
Göz
really
kafasına
do
göre
get stronger, make it more of a spectacle.
biraz
You
da
want them to
böyle
be like, oh my
ben
gosh,
oldum
I didn't know that the Blades of Chaos could get even
oynayacak
better,
mıyız?
but look at that.
So as Kratos gets more, increase the combat depth of each weapon. For the
Allah
blades, one
birkaç
of the
tane
moves
sadece yeni dövüş efekti yoktur
I'm very
ya.
excited for play speed into the movement and the dynamic feel to it.
One of the ways
If you are a blocker, then you could choose a shield that will really match your playstyle.
One new mechanic or element that I'm really excited about is these combo finishers. Building up the stun meter this time around is going to lead to different ways to basically decapitate the enemy.
you're going to be able to choose, which weapon you want to have when you kill a guy. Another feature that we've added for Kratos is his new pre-fall attacks. You could jump off a ledge, and if there's an enemy below you, you could slam down on him.
Hem zeminde çarpışıyorduk ilk oyunda yani tek bir
There's such an emphasis on verticality in some of these fights that it's super engaging. And as Kratos, now that you have so much mobility,
özellikle ona dikkat çekmiş bir de şey gibi gözüküyor. Hani diyelim bu aşağıda çarpışmaya başladık, yukarı turlayacağız, oradan aşağıya. Yani daha kalabalık düşman grupları olacak. Ve hani 3. boyutta Z eksenine de inip çıkacağız. Böylece dövüşe değişik mekanikler de kazandırabileceğiz gibi. Hani bir alanda durup böyle bombada gümede salt kuvvetle indirdiğimiz şeyden ziyade hani Kratos'a şey de katabiliriz böylece. Ne bileyim düşman seçersin, üst taraftakine çıkar indirirsin, aşağıdakinin üstüne zıplarsın falan derken hani biraz hız da katabileceğiz gibi gözüküyor.
There's so much that goes and just seeing what works to really figure out the personality of something. Basically, every department gives it their all to make things really spectacular. There were a lot of different times that I would look back at God of War games just through the ages before 2018. There were so many amazing, huge boss fights and set pieces that it was a huge inspiration for me on my time on this project.
For the old father!
Our design philosophy for creating new and memorable enemies is basically making them a combat puzzle, similar to like chess, and focusing on the chess pieces. Each piece has its own theme and its own use.
You need to be able to see what's happening.
There's a couple of different ways, or we'll add the different rings, such as what we did in the last game, that lets you know that this attack is unblockable, you need to dodge it.
There's so many
Az önce yuvarlamsı bir şey çıktı. Yani onu engelleyemezsin.
not just show what an enemy is about to do.
Oynadığımızda çözeriz gibi.
Everything is story. It's.
I think what I'm most excited about is you will be fighting everything from small little creatures to things that will take up the entire screen.
All their
Ya
designs are the
kalkanla
gamut. I
böyle
think each one
yükleniyor
looks so
koca
much different
düşmanlar
from the
ama
next one, and
oyun
each of them have
içinde
their own play
nasıl olacak
styles,
bakalım.
their own little fantasies that go into it. And
Ama
so I
kalkanın
think
çok
if you
aktif
are really into Norse
koymuşlar
mythology, you'll
trailerlara.
be very interested to see how Sony Santa Monica has taken some of the.
There's emotion behind it and intent behind it, and by the time it gets to you, sweated over, bled over, tested, and it...
Evet, az kaldı. Şimdi showcase diyor. Sonra bundan sonra bitti. 6 dakikalık 3-3 ikili video kaldı. Bakalım. Sen bir git.
Winter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there,
Direkt buraya.
finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
Buraya ile
I don't want to
düşman
fight
oldu.
anyone.
Ya oğlu bunu öldürecekti. Bıraksaydık öldürecekti. Yani bize düşman oldu. Buraya var. Thor zaten düşman. Odin yollamıştır diyordu. Bir önceki videoda. Valkyrie'leri falan. Zaten Thor'un babası onun torununu da ölmüş oldu yani. Bayağı Olimpos gibi Skandinav tanrılarının da içinden geçeceğiz bu seri. Tekneye binişi aynı şu an. Ama ilk kez yaşayan bir şehir gördüm. Normalde bu iki büyülü yaratık tak ortada bir yerde peyda oluyordu. Bilmiyorduk yanlarına ama bir yaşayan şehir var. Bu yeni Yükten o atlama yine. Hani önceden aynı skill'le yere vuruyorduk hani. Sinirlenip ama bu blade'lerle tepeden blade tutmam. Harbi etti sanki. Fırlattı. Yok etmiş gibi gitti. Doğru bile var. Güzel düşman çeşitliliği hoş. Sanki bütün Skandinav ülkesi bize iyi bir şey. Bu devin adı neydi unuttum. Onu saplarımıza çoktu. Evet, geldik son yayınlara. Yayınlanan hikaye fragmanına geldik. Tabii aynı benzer şeyler görebiliriz ama olsun.
Sometimes it's the only way to protect the ones we love.
I know you. God killer. What is it you want from me? Is it a god of war you came to find?
You don't really want war, do you, Kratos? All that blood on your hands, on your son's hands?
What is it you will not tell me?
I can't talk about it, but I just need you to trust me.
We follow your every whim.
But you don't believe in any of it.
And still I follow. Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters. Who's keeping you safe?
I do not need you to protect me.
Sure about that?
Pretender God!
Bak ya, babaya baş kaldırışa bak.
Death can have me when it earns me.
Bu oyunda da çatışmalı gibi geliyor.
No. Oh God.
Babalara gibi.
In your lifetimes, has anyone ever worshipped you? Ever prayed to you? Can you even imagine that kind of love? No.
Tanrılar yine kendi dertlerinde. Yunan tanrıları falan da böyleydi. Kapılsın ona bilmem ne. O din de bunu şey yapıyor. Çocuğu var, o film merak ettim açıkçası.
Fate only binds you if you let it.
İyiyle iyileştirdim çocuğu.
Do what is necessary. Not because it is written. We will make our own destiny.
Ama milyonları durdurmaması lazım. Oluyor. Evet arkadaşlar. Video serimiz bitti. Bu ayın 9'unda çıkıyor mu? Ön sipariş falan tahmin edilebiliyor büyük ihtimal. Bakmadım fiyatına. Bir ara PlayStation'a açıp bakarsam gördüğüm gibi de. Şimdi şöyle bir durum var. Ben hani bu kadar parayı direkt çıkmaz vermeyi düşünmüyorum. God of War'ı seviyorum ama şu an hem Ryzen'dan bu çekiyorum. Sonradan ucuzlayacağını düşünmüyorum ama şu an direkt bunu oynayamam diye düşünüyorum. Aslında bir yanım çok istiyor. Ama ben bu oyuna başlarsam soluksuz bitirene kadar başından kalkmam. Kendimi tanıyorum. Şu anda da maalesef öyle bir zamanım yok. Umarım beğenmişsinizdir. Sonraki videolarda görüşmek üzere.